But
you can't do that.
Interesting. Yeah, you can. You do anything. You know, it's music theory, not fact. You know, kind of like lawyers and doctors still practicing. They ain't got it down yet, you know. But it's music theory, not music fact, and there are no rules.
Okay, so today we're talking about the one and only, my favorite guitarist ever, Eddie Van Halen. Now, I want to show you a couple of these ideas where Eddie took something very basic and just completely Eddie-ified it and made it into this very cool, unique idea. So I got 3 different examples here for you. You can snag the tabs down below if you want. Those are totally free. And also, if you would, subscribe. That lets me know that you dig these videos, and I really do appreciate the support. So without further ado, let's dive on into the lesson. Oh, I almost forgot. I am tuned down half a step. We're going full Eddie style today. Okay, so let's just dive into it. So I'll show you the more basic example here in just a second, kind of where this idea is coming from, and then we'll break down that Eddie-ified one that I just played here, which is coming from his I'm the One solo. The tones that I'm using today, I was originally going to be using a Marshall, but I'm having a lot of noise in here for some reason, so I'm actually using my Axe Effects right now, just a patch that I made, and then of course the EVH Frankie, so I'll link the stuff for my tone down below if you're interested in it. But let's break down what's happening here. Now, the basic idea would be out of kind of this hybrid rock and roll scale. This is kind of the scale like all rock guitarists use, really. It's like this mixture of Dorian, blues, pentatonic. And the basic idea that I have in tabs for you is this. 15, 14, 12 on the high E string. 15, 14, 12 on the B. 15, 14, 12 on the G. And then resolving it to 14th fret on the D. Right there. So it's kind of like a straight run, which kind of has a cool sound to it. But what Eddie's doing is he's taking all those nose B's going like this. I mean, it's a really cool pattern, and it's also kind of almost like randomized. It's a little bit tricky. You're gonna go big bend on 15th fret of the B string, 12 on the high E string. Now, what I had to do to learn this lick is I broke it into very small chunks. So you have this. Then you're going to go 15, pull off to 12 twice. So it's 12, 15, 12, 15, 12. So, okay. Now after that, you go to 15 on the B, and then 14, pull off 12 on the high string. Okay? So that's what I would do. That would be my first piece of this that I would try to get. And once I got where I was comfortable with that, then I'd move on to the next part, and I'd continually just add little chunks at a time to it. Now the next one, you're going to go back to 15 on the B, and then 12 on the high E string. So right there, I would add that. Let me kill the delay real quick, because I don't want to mess you guys up with that delay. Sorry, sometimes I forget to turn that off. Now, the next part here, and this is a very signature thing of Eddie's style, is this combination of some picked notes, some pull-off, you know, and that's really where I got it from in my own playing. You're going to go back to the B string, and you're going to go 15, 14, pull-off 12. Okay, so you have... And already, that's a cool lick. Like I said, it's all from the I'm the One solo. Now, next you're going to hop down, get that flat 5, 15 on the G. Okay. 14, pull off 12 on the B. Kind of similar to what we were doing on the high E and the B string, but now just a little bit different. So you have that added onto it. And you notice, once you get it all under your fingers, there's kind of like this bouncy, little rolling rhythm to it. Okay, now you're going to go to 14 on the G, to 12 on the B. So, right there. So, and the final part here is we go to the B string, 15, 14, pull off 12. Now you got a little finger rolling action in here. 14 on the D, 14 on the G, back to 14 on the D, and then 12 on the G. Kind of tricky. Again, another little lick inside of it that I would just add that. So you've got... And you just speed it up. Okay, so on to the next Eddie lick. Now this one's similar to one I've taught before that he does in Somebody Get Me a Doctor. This one is ever so slightly different that he does in I'm the One. So with this one, what's happening here, the basic idea that we're getting this from would be something like this. Which is a pretty cool lick, you know? I'm not mad at it. Or... Okay? So that's the general basic idea, and these are all tabbed out for you too, so make sure you get the tabs if you want to learn the basic one as well and get into the Eddie stuff. Now what Eddie started doing was incorporating open strings inside of his playing. So what I'm going to do is this. Which, I mean, what a cool sound. It completely morphs the lick, in my opinion. So we're going to be going 10th fret, pulling off to 7th fret on the B string, and then you pull off to an open. So you still have the 3 notes. So instead of the notes being very close together like this, you have bigger intervals between everything. Now you're going to grab 10 on the G, open high E string. So... and you just kind of repeat that. Now I like to add a little bit of a palm mute onto these, the B and the G. Kind of makes that high E string note pop out a little bit more. But that's the general idea of what A was doing, and he did this stuff in Eruption, like I said, Somebody Get Me a Doctor. That's lick number 2. Add those open strings in there. If they're in key, you know, give them a whirl. Okay, on to the third example. Now this one is coming from Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Very cool idea that Eddie does, taking these chords and moving them all over the place. And really, the basic idea here would be like a super standard, kind of like 70s rock lick of going, you know, or, you know, it's something like that. You know, that to me, that's at the core of this. But obviously, Eddie was hearing these chord changes that ended on that E. And the lick is super, super cool. A lot of little dynamic ideas inside of it. So obviously, one of the cool things is we get this string skip in here. Okay? So what's happening is we're going to go 10th fret, pulling off to 8th fret, and then 10th fret on the G, and then you have 8th fret on the high E string. So with the inclusion of this G note here, it's kind of like the 2 of the chord. So I'm kind of viewing it as an add 9 chord. But again, someone who knows much more about theory could correct me on that in the comments if you'd like. So you have that part, 10 pull off 8, and then you go to 10 on the B, and then that 8 on the high string. Now you play 10 again on the G. So right there. And I roll my finger here to get that B string. I go. So I just repeat that section. Now you do that twice. The third one is the one that changes. This is our transition section. So you go back to that 10, you end on that, and then you go 10 pull off 8 on the B, 10 on the G, slide up to 12. Like I said, that's how we transition out of it. So yeah. Okay, and it's the exact same sequence, just up 2 frets over this next chord. So now we would be over that G add 9. You were at F add 9, G add 9. So the 12 is there, but that's the note you're sliding into. So then you're going to go to the B string, and you're going to go 12, pull off 10 on the B, 12 on the G, 10 on the high string. So you have... 12 on the G, 12 pull off 10, 12 on the G. So you have this. Okay, so now the only thing that really changes here on the very last part is you just go 12, 12, and you kind of let it slide down. So you have now. Okay, so you have do the exact same pattern down here one time. So now you got that B flat. You're gonna go 3 pull off 1 on the B, 3 on the G, 1 on the high E string. Now this is where instead of going back to that 3, you transition to the next chord immediately. So you go 5 on the G, 5 pull off 3 on the B, back to 5 on the G, and then 3 on the high string. I end it there. Eddie keeps going. He does like cool, those harmonics and all that stuff. Then he does it. Alright, and there you guys go. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. There are so many things we can take away from Eddie's playing. So make sure you get the tabs. Like I said, those are linked down below for you. If you don't mind, subscribe. Lots more lessons, guitar, nerdy content. I got some super nerdy content on the way, as always. I just got done shooting some new videos down at Glazier's. I got a Dan Huff video coming up, all kinds of stuff. So if you would, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye, homies. I appreciate you.